Looks like both players happy with their opening hand. Justin going to lead it off with the Gataxian Probe.
It's like Primeval Titan,
let me
Forest,
see what you're working with.
Bonfire, Temporal Mastery.
What's the green card?
Primeval Titan up at the top there. I believe there's a 6. I don't know if he mulliganed to 6 or 5. I don't know.
I can only hope that there's more cards off the screen there.
I suppose if we were on 5, like maybe it's 5.
He's on 5.
It is on 5. All right.
So apparently, some players more happy with their opening hand than others.
A Farseek off the top for Oscar is going to give him a nice turn too.
Justin thought scouring himself.
It's Vapor Snag and a Phantasmal Image.
Now it looks like Justin actually molded 6 himself. So, but still, I mean, even if they both mold to 5, I'd give the edge to Delver there.
Sure.
But Delver starting at 6 and on the play.
The play is a huge advantage. I think we're just going to Snapcaster for Probe here.
Yeah, just continue to draw some cards, try to get his mana together while both players, both players are stumbling.
Now we offer the how lucky with the Farseek.
Most likely getting a mountain here with his Farseek.
Yeah, it seems probable. Getting a mountain online against Delver can be especially important, and it's really awkward if you get to 4 lands or 3 lands and you're drawing Copperline Gorges when you need the red mana instantly. Got that mountain.
So now, even though Oscar has not exactly come out of the gates blazing, he does have a bonfire to keep the Snapcaster down. If Justin's hand is too many white cards, this could be, this isn't the fastest start from the Delver either.
The creature he really wants to have this turn is Augur of Bolas, because it can live through any potential bonfiring and still be able to carry a pike even after his creatures die.
Plus resetting the top of his library if there's one card he wants to keep and ship the others.
Augur of Bolas does a mean Thought Scour impression.
He does keep, though, which is not exactly what Oscar wants to see.
And he's just going to play the pike.
Dude, I don't know if I can endorse Unglued Island side by side with Zendikar Island.
I know.
It's physically painful.
It's rough. I love Unglued Island.
I like the Unhinged land on the other side. Unhinged and Zendikar.
Works out.
Hopefully not different pictures, though.
Yeah.
Oscar pondering.
When I have a one-of land or something like that, I really like to set it off as a little different from all the other ones to make searching just go faster, like a white-bordered birds and a green sun zenith deck, that kind of thing. Perhaps a similar principle behind a slightly different mountain here. He's going to go ahead and get that Snapcaster off the board. Not interested in getting Runechanter spiked. I think I can see a Talrand and a Gutshot in Justin's hand, so him seeing the Bonfire leave is actually kind of nice.
Now he plays Mutagenic Growth.
Yep, he could have been either feigning a Mutagenic Growth there or actually has one.
Well, there's no. I think that in that spot it's a bad time for him to bluff because he probably has, if he has Mutagenic Growth in his deck, why alert Oscar so much to it?
I agree.
Like
very
if
much.
he had the growth there, he would certainly use it. But
in step, a Gutshot's going to go ahead and make us a Drake. And that's putting us up to 1, 2, 3, 4 pike points. So we can attack for 8 now.
Is that Kai making an appearance?
It is Kai. It makes a Stern Drake.
Kai beat down is very serious business.
Director wants to make sure we understand the full impact of this Drake token.
I don't know that we'll ever be able to know the full impact of this Drake token in our lifetime.
Looks like another Snapcaster Mage in Justin's hand. That's going to make this pretty bad, because even if Oscar can clear out these creatures, then in-step Snapcaster Mage will just keep the beats coming. Or
he might actually have a Mutagenic Growth.
Oh, I think you're right. I think I just saw a flash of green. And if he does have Mutagenic Growth, this game is very close to over.
I mean, because maybe that's the play. You're just supposed to hold the Mutagenic Growth, protect Talrand. That's the only way you lose is if a Slag Storm or a Bonfire or something takes him out.
I think he may even be presenting lethal after this attack. Well, no, probably not, actually. the flashback is going to make that a little more difficult. And if we don't have a land, we won't even be piking up. It's one of the reasons I like holding the Snapcaster. I don't like getting greedy with pondering when I would like to hit a land, because like generally once you have 4 mana with Delver, like the lands are the cards you don't want to draw, you know? So if I have one, it's nice to draw it then and make use out of it, but I don't want to ponder my way into extra ones. That's a go with 2 Titans and 2 Temporal Mastery, is that what I see?
That is a tough spot to miss a land.
Yeah.
So Justin takes a 1-0 lead over Oscar with Blue-White Delver defeating Wolf-Run Rug in game 1. What does Justin have coming in?
Looking to his sideboard, doesn't look like he has much. I imagine he'll bring in the Spellskite, just because his opponent's playing Wolf-Run and it's like a reasonable pike carrier. It's hard for him to clear. He also has Negate, which is better against the Wolf-Run Rug deck than it is against many other variants of Wolf-Run. And he could bring in Blade Splicer, which I've actually liked in this matchup, as it's a pretty durable guy against bonfires, and it can fight Thrag Tusks kind of reasonably.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Plus, he just has to bring something in for these 4 gut shots.
Yeah.
You know, he probably doesn't want the Dismember either. So if you're going to cut at the 4 gut shots in the Dismember, you got to have 5 cards coming in. Spellskite, Negate, 2 Blade Splicers,
and the Phantasmal Image is certainly a lock, I should say.
So that gives him 5 easy ones to board in.
It's almost like he planned it that way.
Huh. That's weird. What are the odds? On the other side,
Wolf-Run, yep.
Oscar's got Crushing Vines is an easy one. What do you think about Pillar Flame? Do you like Pillar? I mean, he has both Halran and Delver.
I think I actually like it a little bit more against the blue-white list, as weird as that sounds. Here, you have a lot of creatures that live through it, and Talrand himself is usually kind of tough to pillar for any kind of reasonable value. Either it's not going to work, or they're going to make a bunch of Drakes anyway. I think he probably brings it in just because like it's a pretty efficient removal spell. I might leave it out on the play. I might be willing to make that concession and then bring it in on the draw, because I'll need more answers to a turn 1 Delver.
Interesting. And what about Thragtusk or, yeah, I guess Thragtusk?
Thragtusk, you've already got 2, and he saw Image in the main, so he knows for a fact that Justin's going to have access to images. So it's a consideration to not overload on quantity. You don't really need 4 Thragtusks against a Delver of Secrets deck, especially one with Talrand, because it can go to the air. For sure. Yeah, these 2 Tamios and 1 Karn are probably not going to cut it, so he's got to bring in at least 3. What about Whip Flare? I mean, he doesn't know. Although, actually, Whip Flare just sweeps all the Drakes, right? Yeah, I think you bring in Whip Flare because it's one of the most efficient answers to a Talrand. With 4 Bonfire and 2 Whip Flares, then you can really pretty consistently take care of a Talrand and all of his friends, barring a Mutagenic Growth, which will often win the game in all of those circumstances.
And what do you think about 1 Ancient Grudge, the Miser's Grudge, just in case you got to get filthy on a Runechanter's Pike or a Blade Splicer token?
As a filthy Runechanter's Pike player myself, I hate the 1 Ancient Grudge, and every time someone casts it, it's demoralizing. So I would expect that to bring in, and it gives him a nice out to that. I don't think he'll bring in Crushing Vines, which is another card he has, as Talrand very rarely runs Angels, and it's just not even that great when they do. So.
Oh, so, what? Okay, kind of surprised. Like, not even as just a backup insurance against both Delver of Secrets and Runechanter's Pike?
I don't think it's that efficient in that role. As a 3-drop, you can just be really far behind. I'd rather be ramping on like 2-4 and then playing something sweet at that stage.
Alright, fair enough. What do you think about the trend towards Glimmerpost? This is like the 5th Wolf-Run deck we've seen with the full package of Glimmerpost this weekend. I'm
a big fan of Glimmerpost. Again, like I mostly play this matchup from the other side. I don't play a lot with Wolf-Run. And Glimmerpost can make combat surprisingly frustrating, especially alongside Thragtusk, where there are games where you're dealing, like 30 damage, and it's just not enough to win. I think Delver is a deck that's like actually quite good at dealing around 30 damage, and it gets tougher when you're trying to hit for like 40, 42 or whatever.
Alright, so does it look like, is Justin going to 6?
That's what it looks like to me. Or
no,
nope,
perhaps
they may
have
just been presenting.
Taking his sweet time. Respect that.
Justin's so serious. Whew. It's chilly over there.
Both of these players, California locals.
Yep. Oscar pointed out, this is actually one of his top tournament finishes currently, right now.
These players are both 6-1, is that correct? Or 5-1?
Yes. Yep. 5-1, battling to remain in contention for the top 8. At the size of this tournament, it's going to be pretty tough to crack it with anything other than an X1 and 1. It's possible even some players won't be able to draw. 384 is pretty close to 410 in the scope of things, so that will maybe make it hard for some people to draw in the last round.
So what's the craziest thing you've seen so far over the Comic-Con side? The Kamikaze.
Comic-Con side?
The Kamikaze Expo.
Yeah. Which is a Comic-Con itself, yeah. Man, that is a tough question. I guess the Girls and Corpses magazine is probably the strangest thing that I've walked by.
Corpses?
Girls and Corpses.
Oh, and Corpses.
It is exactly how it sounds.
Is this one, what's the family-friendly rating on this one?
Oh, from what I saw, it seemed relatively family-friendly. More of like I guess I'm trying to think of an analogous
Maxim?
publication. Yeah, more of maybe an FHM or a Maxim.
FHM among people who are interested in dead bodies.
Yeah, sure.
And the zombie apocalypse.
To their credit, I do think it is more zombie-oriented than just non-animated corpse-oriented. if that's like a specific thing for you, then I guess that's a difference maker. We are very fortunate to be very close to the magic artists that are in attendance with Eric Deschamps, Michael Hayes, and Howard Lyon. A lot of guys. Howard Lyon's did the Vivid Lands, I believe, or at least some of them.
Very near and dear to my heart. Yeah, all 5.
All 5? Snaps off. Yep, that's all 5. Eric, best known for his work with Venser, the Sojourner, and Venser, the other Sojourner from the Venser versus Koth decks.
He did both of them?
Yeah.
Cool.
He did. He also did the Koth in the Venser versus Koth decks. Either that or he's signing a bunch of them. So.
All right. So both players at 6 cards now.
Yep.
Always slightly favorable for the Delver player.
Justin trying to pick up a read here. Just waits to pick up his hand, stares down Oscar as he picks up each card one at a time. Interestingly, it's easiest to get the read when they're picking up their cards one at a time.
Fact. Playing around the read is how people get the read on you.
Looks like a Seacrum Coast Ponder. Quick shuffle.
As good as those 3 were, he's looking for some that are even better.
Looks like he picked up an island. I see an Augur of Bolus, another Seacrum Coast, another Seacrum Coast. Probably didn't want to draw
a nice one.
Rampant Growth is going to put Oscar right on target for his 2-4-6 plan. Justin appears to be slightly floated already, having picked up an island when he already had 2 Seacrum Coasts in his hand.
Giving it the once over. Oscar looking to just develop his mana a little bit.
Justin has managed to find the actual worst card in the deck, bar none, the 4th Seacrum Coast. You are never happy to see that one.
With Sun is Augur of Bolas, but at least he's not going to be drawing any more of those lands.
Yeah. I think Oscar seems to be doing pretty well here. He's not under a lot of pressure. He doesn't know his opponent's flooded, but might get the idea.
It's like Primeval Titan, Farseek, and Crushing Vines.
So he did bring in the Crushing Vines.
Now, it's possible, I mean, depending on the texture of his hand, it's possible he keeps just the Farseek and shuffles the rest away with the Farseek.
I think that's a pretty common play with this deck. That's how I would frequently use its ponders.
Keeps the Primeval Titan. Now, it looks like he doesn't have another green.
I don't think he even has another land.
Was it too hasty going to Rampant Growth for an island? Because now he can't Farseek for the 2nd force that he needs.
Yeah, no, that's going to be problematic. Augur of Bolus beatdown. Augur of Bolus beatdowns.
Is there any other kind?
Looks like he has either a Pillar Flame or a Whip Flare. I can't actually tell which one it is in Oscar's hand. If it's a Pillar, it might have some utility here. If it's not, it will not.
And he's got 23 hits. at least in the main deck.
It's also possible he changed that in sideboarding, however.
Yeah.
That is a mistake that it's very easy to make with Delver, especially when you're boarding creatures like Blade Splicers, Phantasmal Image, and Spellskite. It's going to be, if he boards out those 4 gut shots, his hit rate's going to drop down to probably closer to like 68% versus like 73. In many matchups at that stage, it's correct to board out the Augurs. I actually don't like doing it in this matchup just because it's such a durable 1/3. And when it hits, it's very good.
It kind of reminds me of Aquamoeba.
Sure.
The
impressive.
Debatably the second best of all the 2-drop blue amoebas.
Good afternoon.
Behind Narco, but above
celebrity guest signing. Mr.
Oid.
Andy
Oid?
Dick
Amoeboid.
is signing autograph, booth 1667.
Oh,
He's
Amoeboid
only
changed
here
like
till
fond
6
memories.
o'clock, so make your way over there now. Andy Dick in booth 1667.
We're taking a Vapor Snare with our 3rd Augur of Bolas.
It's interesting because he can keep it going, you know, if anything goes wrong,
Yep.
or if he just is bored. Vapor Snag his Augur and let it ride. Now these are some fairly mediocre beats,
Yep.
but could be representing a little bit of permission. I mean, it's not clear how many counterspells Oscar could actually fight through.
Oscar is apparently on the plan of peel some lands to play around some stuff. No? Oh, okay. I thought he passed turn. I guess I misunderstood his gesture.
No.
I thought passing turn was probably not correct. So.
No. You mistook the universal symbol for passing priority with the universal symbol for I'm moving my hands, not passing priority.
Ah. Casasola and Cavern of Souls. It's interesting to get Cavern here, as like clearly Justin doesn't have a mana leak or a flash freeze or something similar, and he would have played it. I guess we want some insurance for the next one, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, you could always draw like a Dissipate or something.
And maybe he just doesn't feel under enough pressure to bother with the Glimmer Post, or maybe he's trying to extract max value by getting 2 Glimmer Posts the next time.
Yes, and Justin actually draws a mana leak. I mean, it's not particularly relevant here, because Oscar's got mana for days, but you never know.
Yeah. Vapor Snag on Primeval Titan. I'm wondering if that cavern did name, in fact, Giant. I assume it did.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it did.
Perhaps Oscar simply assumed that Justin would, in fact, draw a mana leak after Vapor Snagging his Titan. He did know he had the snag. He had half the math, you know?
He could pay it anyway.
Yeah.
I think he just wants to make sure that he gets both Glimmer Posts at the same time.
Yep.
Now, he didn't get the Nexus, though, which is interesting.
I think people are very used to not getting the Nexus in pre-board games because it gives your opponent's gut shot something to do. And it's easy for the mentality to actually carry over to post-board games. I find myself frequently in Delver Mirrors, like, playing around mana leaks, even though, like, most people side them out. And I'll just be thinking, oh, well, what if he has mana leak here? And then it's like, oh, wait, no, of course, he probably doesn't. And we have Kessig Wolfrun up to kill one of those images, should it do anything.
This is a tough way to do it. Vapor Snagging to get Primeval Titan every turn?
Vapor Snagging...
Who's getting Glimmer Posts? Like, how long do you think you can dance this dance?
I think we actually hit the end of the dance.
Eventually the music is going to have to stop.
I'm going to... it might be early, but I'm going to call this one in favor of Wolfrun Rug. We've already got like everything we need at this point.
Man. And Justin knocks Oscar down to 22.
Almost mortal once more. I think we'll get the Nexus this time. Nope. Hinterland Harbor and Cavern of Souls.
Does he have the Nexus in his hand?
Maybe. Or maybe he did something real crazy and boarded it out.
Maybe. He's so sure he's going to win that he's trying to sell it like he doesn't have him in his deck.
Oh, it's in his hand. We just saw it.
Kids today. They don't do the crazy stuff enough.
Nope. Now we're going to play a Frost Titan.
Think he's going to have that image?
Are we? Is it resolving? Because he doesn't have a cavern here. I imagine we're not going to have a better mana league target
to do it.
Yeah.
Man, what a mistake. Leading with the Primeval Titan who was uncounterable anyway. I think you're supposed to lead with the Frost Titan.
Yeah.
That you don't mind if it got dissipated.
I think
then you cast the Primeval Titan with the Cavern.
I agree very much with that order. You don't want to make your first spell uncounterable in this situation. That's not a good ponder. It does let us Vapor Snag Primeval Titan one more time, but I have a feeling that's not what we're looking for.
It's a real short-term fix.
Yep. In some situations, that could even have been semi-acceptable. For example, if you had a much larger graveyard and a Runechanter Spike, you can just suddenly deal 20.
So Justin, what's he looking for here? I mean, like he still has a lot of... Well, I guess those are cards in his graveyard.
I believe we... What do you think about our Phantasmal Image plays this game? Do you like playing them on the Augur?
I mean, he had to get something going, I guess, but it's tough. Like, obviously, in hindsight, if you know you're going to whiff twice.
Yeah. The trouble with Phantasmal Imaging Augur is that he digs you to spells, but not threats. Like, it will never draw... The closest thing to a threat an Augur Bolus can really hit here is, like, a Ponder to find a threat. So I think I like the turn 3 Augur Bolus copy, maybe, but I would probably have held the second image rather than commit.
It's tough, though, because... You don't want to just sit there and wait for a Primeval Titan to come down. He's going to get Keswick Wolf Run, and then what are you even doing?
On the other hand, if we were on the Vapor Snag plan, then that actually makes the Vapor Snag plan slightly better when we get to untap at least with a Primeval Titan.
I guess, but the first time he plays his Primeval Titan, he goes and gets Keswick Wolf Run. And then it's like, eh.
We're putting him in the spot where he basically just has to have the land there, which I think is kind of reasonable. Looks like we're casting a Titan. God,
another Primeval Titan. So what do you think of these Wolf Run Rug decks only playing one Inkamoth Nexus?
I'm fine with it, actually. I early on was a proponent of cutting them down. I think it was a very powerful trick when it first debuted and has only gotten weaker. And the deck's mana is actually quite greedy as it is. So
trying to support Temporal Mastery, Ponder, double green spells, Farseek not being able to get your second green, Bonfire.
Yeah.
Kind of all over the place. Plus, 4 Glimmer Posts, an Inkamoth Nexus, and a Keswick Wolf Run is already a lot of colorless lands, not to mention how often Cavern is colorless.
If I recall, I think Reed actually split his Farseeks and Spear of the Suns a little bit just because of the mana concerns.
Interesting.
I've seen a lot of players not taking Reed's example on that and just going ahead with the 4 Farseeks. They want to play the better card. We're going to go for it. This is just really not going to work no matter what. Even if Oscar has nothing, what he has on board is definitely good enough to beat this.
Well, one of these is on defense, and that's something. And then if he's got a Snapcaster for a Vapor Snag to hold off whatever gets Wolf Run, that's a thing.
How close are we to just killing him with the Nexus here?
Well, if there's a Vapor Snag.
Sure. But if there's a Vapor Snag, you still have the Titans blocking, so you don't even have to worry about dying. Feels like you just kind of make him do it. Oh, whew. We're going in. We're triggering.
Pike just barely big enough to stop a Primeval Titan.
Just barely. That's actually kind of nice because Snapcaster or Vapor Snag will shorten it down. Should he have that, which I don't think he does. I feel like we would have played a Snapcaster Mage probably ages ago.
Because he surely drew the Pike this turn. And he didn't have a Snapcaster last turn.
That's true.
So it looks like Oscar's about to tie it up here.
Probably.
I mean, it's hard to totally count Justin out, but the fact that Oscar's at 22, such an insurmountable.
The real question isn't whether Oscar wins or not, probably, at this point. It's whether he wins this turn or not. Are we going for the full amount, or we leave back 6? Looks like he's going to leave back 6. he's leaving back enough to cast a Frost Titan, but not a Primeval Titan, which is an interesting choice. I feel like that can't be right. There's no reason to leave Glimmer Post untapped.
No, I think the
any
ones
other
in his
land.
hand are the ones he's going to be tapping.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. It's holding open at least 4 mana there.
I believe this is a Wolf Run for 9, which makes the Nexus lethal.
Yep. He's demonstrating it out for Justin, who is just verifying the count.
May I have this?
Don't forget to count the one that animated that Nexus. Oh, it's the Glimmer Post over there. Never mind.
Yeah. Justin mostly just counting his mana.
Yep.
We're on to game 3.
Yep.
Just going to be on the play in this game.
Definitely a strong advantage in the matchup. It's pretty oriented over who gets to play which spells when. Like most matches of Magic, I would say.
Dude, I don't know. Being on the draw is highly underrated.
I can get on.
Every time people mulligan, it's how often do you mulligan? A fair bit if you know it's good for you. And it's like you always wish you were on the draw when you mulligan. Not always, but you know, enough of the time. Obviously, in Constructed these days, it's generally better to be on the play, but Limited in particular, I think, is one where, and there's a fair number of limited formats that being on the draw is what's happening.
I can remember a day and age when we chose to be on the draw in Constructed. It actually wasn't that long ago. The predecessor to Delver of Secrets, the Mono Blue Illusions deck.
Yeah.
I remember when Todd was first testing that deck, he actually theorized in the mirror he might often prefer to be on the draw.
Interesting. Just how attrition-y the nature of the matchup is.
When you've got a bunch of phantasmal creatures and snapcasters and vapor snags and
got shots and all that.
Yeah. Things changed, of course, and now anyone thinking about going on the draw in the Delver mirror usually gets a strange look. I think that all of those things are still true, interestingly enough, about attrition being pretty important in the matchup. The problem is that when your opponent can't trade very effectively with you, the advantage you garner from being on the play is so massive that I think it trumps the general EV of the decision.
Remember at Pro Tour Honolulu, the Shards block one a few years ago. In Limited, I was choosing to draw every match. And I was just playing 5-color control in Shards, Conflux Booster Draft. And you could tell a lot about the opponent by which people would choose to play after I beat them after I chose to draw.
Sure.
Versus the people who would switch it. Like when I played against, Hall of Famers, like I played against Yelger. Yelger, he chooses to play, loses, and then chooses to draw. And it's like, I respect that, you know? Like, when you know, like, when the person has something in that department that forces you to change up your gameplay, just swallowing your pride and being like, oh, all right, you wouldn't be choosing to draw if there wasn't a reason, you know?
I very much
Shuei
agree.
Nakamura too.
I think the mentality often of like got it wrong can sometimes pervade. Like people don't like to admit to an error. I think like the average person, just in general, like the idea of it is like, I don't want to do that. So in a lot of situations like that, where people make a decision and maybe they have an idea that it might have been wrong, they'll frequently still default to the previous decision. Course. Because at a minimum, they are not admitting to having made a mistake by doing so. Even though they may just be perpetuating the problem.
Yeah, I mean, once you've, declared victory, it's kind of hard to want to go a different route. Just got to stay the course and choose to play. All right, Oscar presenting.
Going to game 3. Have you had a lot of game 3s on camera today? Just curious.
A fair number, pretty even, normal distribution.
All right.
Things are moving very quickly, though. We've had an awful lot of fast matches.
Fast matches.
A lot of people racing each other.
One of the things that's interesting to me about the Wolf Run ramp deck is it is one of the...
Attention,
Kamikaze that is so loud.
There are still slots
I have a feeling
available
this is about
for
zombies.
Kamikaze's zombie apocalypse escape.
Yeah, I
So
apologize,
good.
you guys at home. We're staving off the zombie apocalypse.
That is a frustratingly loud loudspeaker. We happen to be situated in a very precise position for its direction. So sorry about that.
Inside California.
What I was saying that I found interesting about Wolf Run Rug is it's one of the few top decks in Standard that actually doesn't place a lot of emphasis on a one-drop. While it plays Ponder, it's not frequently turn one-ing it. And most of the other decks, you know, you've got the Elf decks that play a turn one Mana Dork. You've got Delver, plays a turn one Delver of Secrets. In fact, turn one Glistener Elf or Cathedral or something like that.
Yeah, and I think that's part of why Wolf Run is one of the few decks that doesn't mind that much if it's on the play or the draw. I mean, it's got sweepers to catch up if it's on the draw. It's got rampant growth with Farseek to kind of steal the play. You know, it's not the end of the world for them to be on the draw.
True.
Whereas these one-drop heavy decks, so important to have every ounce of tempo you can muster.
One of the things I do like about the Wolf Run Rug deck is also that while it's not, in Delver's sense, capable of punishing early stumbles, Delver will just kill you if you stumble a lot of the time. The Wolf Run Rug instead puts you in just a terrible position.
Yeah, where you're not making
catching
any
up
progress.
doesn't do anything. Yeah, once a Primeval Titan starts hitting the field, it's really hard. Even if you start to play Magic again against it.
That's primarily because these Delver decks are set up to be tempo machines.
Yep.
Where no go for the throats, no reactive cards that can actually deal with it outside of things like Gut Shot and Vapor Snag, which are the Gut Shot Dismember combo or Vapor Snag to buy time. It's a tough way to do it.
Justin's on a Mold of 6 and he starts with a Thought Scour on turn 1, which is not ideal, but see what we can do. We're going to Ponder now. Obviously probably hoping to hit a Delver of Secrets. We hit a Delver of Secrets, but we also hit Glacial Fortress Island. Does our hand want to draw 2 more lands? If we have another Thought Scour, the answer seems to be quite clearly an affirmative.
Decides to keep. Does he have the blue?
He has a cavern, at least. He has an island also, okay.
He plays the island now.
Kind of gave away he has another land there with the...
So Delver of Secrets hits the table, but it's not going to flip for a hot minute.
Yeah, looks like we have to reveal nothing and then Snapcaster Mage Thought Scour, if I'm reading his hand correctly. Which is unfortunate.
Farseek finding an island, as it is wont to do.
And this time, certainly correct. We already have double green, we've got a red. We even had a blue. We know that Oscar doesn't run Slagstorm, to be fair, but Justin doesn't. So the second red could have had some
Thought
value.
scours himself in response to the trigger.
He did have a Thought Scour. All right, well that's fortunate for him. Drawing those lands would have been pretty unfortunate. He's demonstrating what happened, and now draw step. Oh, no, that was the Thought Scour. Now we're upkeeping.
Yep. Yeah, he was looking at it at first thinking it was the Delver, and then realized, wait a minute, this is actually the Thought Scour card.
Yep. Made that mistake myself a couple times. One of my friends caught me, I believe, forgetting to draw, in fact, off of a Thought Scour. Never claimed to be the very best. Playing an island.
Still no white mana.
I have a Phantasmal Image, but I don't think we're playing it.
It's generally not the one you want to copy. The Delver of Secrets as the Phantasmal Image, not gonna flip.
He does have a backside, however, it says Magic the Gathering, Deckmaster.
Yeah, and for very little explicable reason, considering Deckmaster isn't even a thing.
Yeah.
But I guess, made your bed 19 years ago, now we gotta live with it. Oscar, with Flare, definitely a nice card to have in his hand.
Yep.
So far, so good for Oscar. He's got a good mix of mana, he's not under a terrible bit of pressure. As long as he keeps hitting his land drops and not falling too far behind, I like his chances here. Does look like he's a little bit flooded though.
Sure. And he has a Crushing Vines to cover for the Runechanter's Pike, which is really the most punishing card for the Wolf Run Rug deck to get nabbed by, I think.
And there's a good chance as soon as Justin flips that Delver that it's going to get crushed. Justin's sitting on 3 islands. Has a Cavern of Souls ready to give him Geist of Saint Traft. Oh no, not even Geist. He doesn't even play the Geist.
Yeah, he doesn't have Geists. I don't think he even has a tower in his hand. I believe he's on Snapcaster, Phantasmal Image, Cavern of Souls. Can't really see many of the other cards.
So he has 0 white cards in main deck.
Yep, he has white for the sideboard cards, which I have. I'm a
Mostly
big proponent
Celestial
of.
Purge, right?
Yeah.
And to a degree, Knight of Glory and Blade Splicer.
I think that white is the best secondary color for Delver, primarily because of the sideboard options it affords you.
It'll be interesting to see what it's like when Delver has access to both Steam Vents and Sulfur Falls.
I agree that might change things around. I think are we losing Purge? I think we are, aren't we?
Yes.
So that's actually going to remove a large incentive as well.
Mutagenic Growth on Talran.
It's going to save our Talran, but our Drake is not long for the world. Now from this position, we're basically just hoping to not have anything like that ever happen again. We're just going to hope this Talran lives, all of his buddies live, and that's enough. That Snapcaster Mage will likely flashback a Ponder unless we have a natural one.
Now, as good as that Talran is looking, things are a bit tenuous. If Oscar drops a Titan next turn, he's in a world of... I guess Justin's in a world of hurt.
Yep. That's the real issue with the Glimmer Post, is normally that would not be so bad if it weren't for Glimmer Post. He would be able to Vapor Snag the Titan, get a Drake, maybe have a Pike or something to make tapping out actually a pretty dangerous proposition, and really get in a lot of damage. But as is with Glimmer Post, you're basically just free rolling the tap out turn. We are in fact Snapcaster pondering. It's a Delver, Fortress, and a Negate. The Negate's a nice card, but it doesn't stop a turn 6 Titan. And the other cards suck.
It does potentially hold off a Bonfire though if Oscar ever ends up on that kind of time.
The thing is, like, I don't know if we're beating a Bonfire, like kind of recently. Oh yeah. We got our Drake there. I've personally gotten a couple people with their looking at the Ponders before they've put their Drake into play. So that's a thing to watch for if you're back at home. Try not to resolve your instants and sorceries before you've actually got your token officially into the play zone. He put the cards back, but he doesn't appear certain he is Oh, he's
fast and loose. Apparently.
We are fast and loose today. Whew. Interestingly, I think our order there was Delver Negate, which means we don't have another land in our hand. So with this line, he is basically just all in on there not being a Bonfire. As we said before, like he kind of just has to hope that that's never going to happen. So yeah, just play our guy.
Or another Whip Flare. I mean, this is pretty dangerous.
It's very dangerous, but the payoff is quite high.
It's probably a Titan.
Yep.
It is.
And I think we want to go get probably... I don't know. This is actually kind of close. I think not getting a Glimmer Post is a mistake. I think we're like between Wolf Run and Glimmer Post or 2 Glimmer Posts.
So it looks like he gets 1 Glimmer Post now so that he can get 2 more next turn.
The issue with this is now he's going to be vulnerable to Phantasmal Image, Primeval Titan, and a Vapor Snag, which would be catastrophic.
He did not get the Wolf Run.
Yeah. Unless he has the Casasola Wolf Run in his hand, or some other potential answer to the Phantasmal Image, but I don't believe he has any of those things.
Yeah.
I also don't believe Justin has a Vapor Snag, so
he could have a
might
Frost
be in
Titan in his hand. Oh, he has Ponder. So he basically Demonic Tutor.
I like to think of it more as Ancestral.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Reveals the Negate.
So Justin wins this race, right? It's close.
It is close, but he is slightly ahead, and a nice benefit of the Phantasmal Image is that it will shuffle away the Glacial Fortress he had to keep on top of his deck that he definitely doesn't want.
Oh, he does have the image.
Yep.
Wow.
So he can go Image with Negate up, which is pretty reasonable. I don't know what his other card is there. Can you see it looks like a white card. Do we have a white card? I can't imagine, like...
Divine Offering?
Divine Offering. Interesting. Does that hit anything other than Solemn Simulacrum here?
One Nexus.
Oh, the Nexus? Oh, I really don't like that. I don't bring in Divine Offering in this matchup. I think that's a folly. Maybe he died to the Nexus in the last game and brought it in after thinking like, oh man, this could happen to me. But like, I'm pretty sure if that was my actual thought process, I might rather even have a gut shot because it works so much better with Talrand. Are we just jamming?
Yeah.
Is he considering maybe Snapcaster Maging instead of Tightening? I don't think I like that. Maybe he is. He's Snapcaster Maging a Vapor Snag? Is that what it is? Yeah, okay. I think that's a reasonable choice. We're going to attack for a bunch, and we'll still have Drakes and an Insectile Aberration in the air. Even if our opponent recasts the Titan, he'll be gaining 8 life, and we're swinging back for more than that on the next turn as well. I haven't done the exact math on it yet, though, so I don't know exactly how good it is.
So he attacks for 9.
I'll put in a 9,
so even a Primeval Titan with an Inkmoth Nexus to block is still not enough. Oscar needs something new or he's dead to the board. Now, I'm not a math scientist, but I know this is a tough spot.
He's going to Titan for 2 Glimmer Posts to go back to 17.
Oh.
So I actually think like Justin needs a Pike, and he knows the top card of his deck is a Glacial Fortress. He'll draw the Glacial Fortress, which will let him keep the Inkmoth Nexus from blocking, which is, I guess, useful, but I feel like we just would have rather had a Primeval Titan of our own in play, to be totally honest.
Particularly when Oscar doesn't have a Wolf Run.
Yeah, because he didn't get the Wolf Run, I think the Titan becomes a much better copy. This is a tight spot.
Oscar going to start it off with a Ponder.
Yep. It's a pretty reasonable decision, I'd say.
Keep the best of the 3 and then Primeval Titan away the other 2. Doesn't like any of those.
Yeah. Amusingly, the Glimmer Post, which he definitely doesn't want to draw.
As round 7 is winding down, not really in any danger going to time here, but it has been a battle this last game.
Yeah. Imagine now we're just going to cast our Primeval Titan with an Inkmoth Nexus up to block. I don't really see anything better. Like, we have Thrag Tusks, but they're not...
Yeah, I think he's got to lead with the Titan, because potentially next turn he can play 2 Thrag Tusks.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
This game is far from over.
Oh, we've got a crowd over there at the Feature Match Arena.
Wow, you're not kidding. It's hard to see from this angle, but there's got to be like over a dozen people just on that one side alone.
Including Cedric Phillips.
Esquire, the first.
He is watching one of the other matches. Looks like Ben Swartz, a friend of Cedric's, is also playing over there. Just can't get enough, I guess. Spends his breaks watching Magic. Oh, not leaving up the Nexus to block. All right. That's kind of a little on the dangerous side because a Pike in the air can't be stopped.
Guess he wants that 12th mana, which leaves him with 2 Thrag Tusks and a Nexus to block next turn.
It's true. If the top card of Justin's deck was a Runechanter's Pike, I actually think I would like him in this game right now, maybe. But because it is in fact a Glacial Fortress, I'm not so enthused. I don't think I missed some random shuffle or something. If I did, then that would be a different story.
Yeah, I don't know about that, getting that Cavern of Souls instead of Casasola front.
Yeah, I don't feel like it did nearly enough.
And now he still doesn't have Casasola front in play.
Yeah. That's how you kill people, man. It's called Wolf Run. You don't see people not turn 1 in their Delvers. We're just team, everybody.
Everybody, or only those in the air? I mean,
I think
you don't want Talrand to get in there, do you?
I don't know. I mean, we don't have another spell. Like, we have the Divine Offering. Like, I don't see that spell being cast in a situation where we're winning at this point. Just the air?
Decides to
All
stay
right,
in
just
the air. 7 to Oscar. He drops to 10.
We've entered into the bad phase where we're not dealing as much damage as Oscar is gaining. Once he plays, he just gained 8, so we dealt only 7, so we didn't achieve where we were before. And now he's going to play a bunch of Thrag Tusks.
Is his plan to triple block the Primeval Titan?
I hope not.
Like, things can go wrong. One of those is an image.
Yeah. Titan enters the red zone, as he is wont to do. And this time I have a feeling the Wolf Run is going to be on the menu. Yep.
Oscar up to 14 mana. He's got all the business in play. You can tell from the way Justin's hands are moving, he's debating if he should run this crazy triple block. He knows he shouldn't, but he might not be able to help himself. Oh, look at his hand.
It would be a bold move.
All right. Oh, I don't know if he can get away from this one. I don't know if he can lay this one down. All right, he does.
I like that decision. A Thrag Tusk. Yep. Again, we've caverned the first one instead of the second one. Yeah, you have a land to make it not matter. Another Thrag Tusk.
That is a lot of life.
So we are back to 20. All has been for naught.
Man, that Vapor Snag instead of getting a Primeval Titan.
Yeah, I think that was
tough in this spot right now.
It was a turning point in this game for sure. Ponder. Well,
Certainly
that was
not over
close
yet.
to the best one we could hit. We want to have Pike and some instants.
Gabriel Nassif representing the summoning stick as opposed to the Coyote who can actually attack.
We have an Augur of Bolus and 2 cards we don't want to draw, a Talrand and another land. We can shuffle for a new card, or we can take the Augur and use it as a shuffle, free-rolling a 3rd card look at maybe an instant or a sorcery. But our draw won't come until the next turn. I think I like probably... I don't know, actually. Drawing a Pike right now is not that good, because we can't Divine Offering the Inkmoth Nexus out of the way. So, yeah, I think I might have taken the Augur. That's pretty close, though. Kind of depends on where your head's at.
He really needs Vapor Snag or Snapcaster Mage. Or something to help dig to try to find a Vapor Snag or a Snapcaster Mage, because he's just dead to trample damage, right?
Yeah, now that I think about it, I like the shuffle. The Augur's Body's just not that relevant. The percentage we lose by shuffling back in some cards that we don't want to draw is not that bad either, so...
What an intense game.
Yeah. What did we hit? I can't see. He's shuffling those cards so fast. A Pike! We did hit a Pike. Ooh. Now, the awkward part about this game is now Justin's attacks have to include the fact that he could die.
Yeah, but you know, that's kind of how life goes.
Yep. He doesn't want to have to block with a Talrand to survive. Kessig Wolf Run is naturally going to be very problematic. We are in a position where this Divine Offering could accidentally win this game, though. As if we attack with all our flyers, which I think we definitely should, then Oscar could be incentivized to make an attack with his Nexus. But we didn't attack with all our flyers, so that won't happen. Never mind.
So we getting in there for 5?
Yeah. I really like sending all the Drakes.
Attention, kamikaze guests. There are still slots left
BRB.
for the kamikaze zombie apocalypse. You may enter. You may not leave.
Oh, we've got Schrodinger's zombie apocalypse over there.
So it looks like this match actually is ending up going to time.
Yep, we are in the turns, but I feel confident saying that the match will conclude during those turns. Oh, it looks like we're getting a ruling or something now. Either that or Justin has spontaneously developed the ability to turn invisible, which, you know, it's Kamikaze-Con. Anything could happen.
It's not clear if he's getting a ruling or if he's... Oh yeah, he is. And he's now out of time.
I guess we tapped mana and we're considering something? Interesting. Are we going to try and use our pike defensively? No. Okay.
Just get it out there.
We know our opponent doesn't have a sweeper because he hasn't used it at any point that would be really relevant. Oh, I don't like using our Crushing Vines now. Like, we know he has the negate. I would prefer to use it on the next turn.
It's very revealing, though.
Yeah.
If Justin does not negate the Crushing Vines.
He could die to anything.
Well,
Top of the deck's a Bonfire.
Whoosh.
Top of the deck's a Whip Flare. Whoosh.
So he does negate the Crushing Vines.
I think we have to negate because we're not winning the game without the pike at this stage, I would think. And if the top card of the deck is in fact a Bonfire Whip Flare, I think that's just the game you lose. If your opponent has a Crushing Vines and a Bonfire, you're just losing this game.
Is he not just dead to the board, though?
I don't think he is.
I haven't done the math, but...
He did a bunch of math, so I kind of assume maybe he's not.
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
I think he might be dead or not dead depending on whether he activates the Inkmoth Nexus. Which was one of the reasons, one of the lines you could have taken is to attack with the other Drake to incentivize trying to die to Inkmoth Nexus. But that's not going to happen. Okay. If you take that line, you can't cast the Runechainer Spike this turn, though, because you have to hold the Divine Offering. Well, maybe, I don't know. The fact that we don't have untapped mana is kind of bad, because we can't really bluff anything at all. He's going to go ahead and do his own math on the Wolf Run.
No, he's dead.
10, 11,
yeah,
12.
How do you get through this?
Yeah, he looks
like, no matter
dead.
how he blocks, the optimal is even distribution, 4 toughness soaking up the Titan, 3 toughness soaking up each of the Thrag Tusks, and then the Wolf Run hitting whichever. Like, there's no... Like, he's just dead.
He is, in fact, a deceased person.
So now he's got 3 toughness jumping in front, 3 in front of each of the Thrag Tusks, 4 in front of the Primeval Titan. Yeah. That's 2 points of trample damage no matter who, plus he's got a Wolf Run for more than 12.
I actually think it's for 12 exactly.
No, for 12 damage?
Yeah, for more than 12 damage,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
The Wolf Run itself is for 12, and each creature's power is going to add to that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that, like, just
the Wolf Run will
like...
deal 14 damage from either Thrag Tusk, and the Primeval Titan's already dealing 2 more.
Yeah, I think in that spot you're supposed to just not negate the Crushing Vines. You just wait, hope he tries to kill you with Nexus and Divine Offering.
That's fair.
Or he pumps exactly enough to kill you and you Divine Offering your Pike.
That is also a nice line. Yeah, I think I will reverse my position. I think I was wrong there on negating Pike. Well, personally, my actual play was to not play Pike this turn, but I think that you need to have mana open just to make this turn more difficult for your opponent in a lot of ways. The Pike Divine Offering line I hadn't really considered. I think I kind of like that one.
It's going to be lethal.
Yeah, well, he left a mana open.
Yeah, but he blocked. He didn't block with an even distribution. He's only got 2 toughness.
Oh, okay, then yeah, he doesn't need to do that anymore. I assume
like
Oscar
Casasola.
Oh,
and that's the match. Wolf Run Rug defeating Delver. That's the third. Well, we've been seeing Wolf Run triumphing round after round.